It is 5:51 a.m. on November 16th, 2019. I am headed to the Champaign, Illinois airport to catch a flight to Dallas and then on to Orange County John Wayne Airport in the LA basin. And I'll be arriving there about noon, and then I am departing LAX at about 1 a.m. to return to Champaign. So in the words of Clark Griswold, this is crazy, this is crazy, this is crazy. The reason I'm going is to see the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is not playing in Illinois. I missed it somehow. And since I'm going to spend the day there, I might as well look around a little bit. So I'm going to be headed up to Spahn's Movie Ranch, and which is where the Manson family hung out. And then I'm going to head over to Corriganville Movie Ranch, which is just a mile or two up the road from where Spahn's was. And Corriganville is where the Spahn family, or the Spahn Ranch set was for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then I'm going to hit 10550 Cielo Road in Beverly Hills and New Beverly Cinema to watch the movie. El Coyote Restaurant, because it's only a block away from New Beverly, and possibly some other locations. There's not going to be many hours of sunlight, so I'm limited by that. Anyhow, flight is in just over an hour. Alright, well, I'm on board the flight at Champaign, and I've had a bit of a mishap. My TDC colorist camera is not working properly. The shutter does not fire, so this will be my only camera for the day, it looks like. Approaching Dallas now. Dallas.
Delgado and Soto, trying to get two, please reach out.
That should be Palm Springs. I've made it to the 405. It's 12:26 p.m. I'm coming up on Harbor Boulevard. I've only gone a couple miles. I didn't expect to get on the road until 1, so I guess I've picked up half an hour. That's good news, because sunset is at 4:49 and every minute counts. So getting an extra half an hour is just great. I'm in Carson, California now on 405, and I can hardly believe what I just saw. I saw a spherical Union 76 gas station sign. I wish I could have got my camera out more quickly. I'm at exit 35 now. It's back about a mile, I'd say. Goodyear blimp. At 1:11 p.m. I'm at Rosecrans. A little disappointed by the progress. My lack of progress, that is. There's Randy's, by the way. Right up there. Don't know. 1:34 p.m. I just passed Wilshire. 3/4 of a mile to sunset. Things have cleared up a bit. I'm inclined to go up to Cielo Drive now. We'll see what happens. When I looked down at Wilshire Boulevard, though, there was a lot of surface traffic. Really bad surface traffic. Okay, here we go, Sunset Boulevard. Just a little ways to Benedict Canyon Road. Just past Stone Canyon Road. Benedict Canyon should be soon. Now on Benedict Canyon Road. It is 1:49. I wasted a little time there. Okay, that was not hard to find at all. Whoa. I got a car on my tail. Well, that came kind of fast. I missed it. I passed Cielo. Now I have to turn around. Okay, this intersection up here is Cielo and Bella. Cielo to the right. Bella to the left. No, that's later. Alright, I needed to put my black towel on the dashboard before I came in here, but I did not. Okay, Bella's up there. I don't really like having my camera up when people pass me. Okay, first I'll turn on to Cielo. So I'm on Cielo and I'm turning on to Cielo. Does that make sense? Should be about 3 or 4 houses on the left and then a dead end. There's the good vantage point from over there. And that's the end of the road. So those gates are the gates to the property that the Tate Polanski house was on. Okay, I grabbed a picture. Now I'm headed back down Cielo Drive. I need to get a picture of the street sign at the bottom. And then I'm going to go up Bella Drive. I really needed to put my black dashboard towel out. Alright, so now crossing Cielo Drive and headed up Bella Drive. There is one parking spot at the top of this. Thank you, Google. Here's the parking spot. Gonna grab a quick picture or two and then get the hell out of here. If I can get out of the car. There we go. Okay, so the Tate Polanski house was right there, center frame. That's where we just were. We were on the back side of those houses. Oh look, they go down 3 levels. Oops, gotta aim better. So I was just parked on the other side there behind those houses. And there is the Tate Polanski house. And then above it, look at this monstrosity that's being constructed. Holy cow. Looks like it's going to be a hotel or something. Anyhow, down there is Westwood and LA in general. Need to take some pictures and get out of here. Headed back down Bella now. I put the black towel out. It's not really helping. I want to get a real quick picture over there. Cielo Drive. There it is. I'm on Mulholland Drive now. Just a few minutes from the 405. When I drop down onto the 405, I'll be on the north side of Sepulveda Pass. And I should only be about 30 minutes from Spawn's Movie Ranch. We'll see. Hopefully there's no traffic. Time is 2:20. This is the Mulholland Bridge over 405 on the north side of Sepulveda Pass. This is the bridge that was replaced during what was called Traffic-Geddon, where the bridge replacement resulted in Traffic-Geddon. Looks pretty similar to the old bridge. Anyhow, getting on the 405 now. Here's the view from below. Actually, I think it had round pillars before. I've only gone a few feet from the last shot. I just crested a hill there, and you can see the San Fernando Valley ahead. We're heading over there. 237 now. About to get on 118 West. The Ronald Reagan Freeway. Next turn is Topanga Canyon Road. We're getting close to Santa Susana Pass. 1 mile to Topanga Canyon Road. That's where I'll be getting off. The pass is just up there and to the left. Those tanks up there are a beam of Spawn. I wonder how you say that. Spawn? Spawn? The Movie Ranch. The place I'm going. Looks like I found some more traffic. Okay, turning on to Topanga Canyon Road. In just a second I'll go through a cut here, and to the left and up there's a boulder field, and well, also to the right. And there's actually a website where a guy has mapped these boulders and correlated them with various movies that have been filmed in this area over the years. It's pretty surprising how many movies were filmed in this rocky area here. Westerns, TV shows, you name it. You can see why. There's nice rugged terrain. So we're going to be turning right here on Santa Susana Pass Road. And we're very close to the movie ranch right now. It's always weird to visit a place that I have looked at very carefully online, because although I've never been here before, I know it well. Okay, too bad I'm shooting into the sun. That kind of bites. So I don't know what I'm going to do first here. I think I'm going to park on Iverson and go down into there's Red Mesa. So this is a loop. It goes up. Lone Ranger Rock is up there, and then it comes back down, and then I have to turn onto Iverson and park. Nice boulders. Kind of hungry and thirsty. Okay, here's the church, and the boulder with the cracks in it should be right up there. Spawn's Movie Ranch is right there. Iverson is right up here after this phone pole where the power line makes a turn. And here it is. So I'm going to park up here in the shade. The time is 2:51 p.m. and I'm going to head down Iverson here. Take a left on Santa Susana and climb up on a boulder to get some pictures. So now I'm on Santa Susana. This guardrail is important in the grand scheme of things. To get to the Manson family cave, you go to the end of the guardrail and then head down into the creek there. Also, this telephone pole is important. You'll notice that the cables make a bit of a turn here, and then the guy wires that hold it up are important to the hiking route. So my boulder should be up there. I misspoke. There's the railing back there, the guardrail I mean. And these seem to be my boulders. We'll find out in a second. Okay, here's a vintage image of Spawn's Movie Ranch. You can see the cracks in the boulder there. And what do you know? There's still a boulder here, and it's still got cracks in it. So that is where the movie ranch was. Down there on that flat area. So the old western town thing ran left to right along the back edge there. Whoops, my envelope is getting away from me. Oh. And so then the cave and other features are down there in the creek bed. And you can walk up to the top of that thing. There's a gated entrance down there, and the driveway goes up and around and up back, and the boundary between the public parkland and the private property is a little vague. So I don't know what I'm gonna do over there. Maybe I will not go there. I don't know. We'll see. The lighting could not be worse. The sun is just at the worst, at a low angle and in the wrong place. I'm gonna go ahead and snap some pictures now. So just for orientation purposes, Overlook Point, where the Grapes of Wrath scene, where they're looking out over the San Fernando Valley, is in that lump of rock there. So I'll be climbing up there in a little bit after I visit the Manson family cave. That's where I was just standing. Now I'm going to wander into the ranch. This is definitely public land, so I have nothing to worry about here other than rattlesnakes. Everybody who posted online about this place seemed to mention rattlesnakes. Really wish I'd brought my hat. So this place burned down in 1970. Supposedly it was bulldozed after that, but I'm not buying that. The ground is not particularly level. I'm having a hard time seeing anything because of the sun in my eyes. The one artifact that is supposedly left here is a vertical telephone pole that's badly burned, but so far I haven't spotted it. There are the boulders again. I'm going to take some pictures. I did find a burned out tree and what appears to be a bed frame. Not really sure where the entrance was. Either down there on the right side of the frame or perhaps over here. Okay, now I'm approaching the end of the guardrail. There's that phone pole. I wonder what's down here. This place is slightly creepy. I mean, as far as I know, nobody got killed here, but still. Alright, there's our power pole, and the guy wires are a landmark for finding this turn here to the left. It is steeper than I anticipated. Okay. It's puzzling. A lot of mosquitoes here. Okay, we're looking for a turn to the right up here. Yeah, that is to the top.
This is to the tourist attractions. Wow, lots of mosquitoes. There it is. The Manson family cave. Oh, and there are the hammock trees. I am not going to be spending much time here. These mosquitoes are brutal. So here's the other Life magazine shot. Right here. And then the rock where what's-his-face auditioned with the previous owner of the Tate Plansky house. It's right here. Somebody broke the rock, but this is where Manson auditioned for, what was his name, Melcher or something like that. You can see the cave is off there, off in the background there. Alright, I'm going to take some stills and get out of this storm of mosquitoes. Alright, I got some good pictures. Now I'm headed back to the car and I'm going to go to Lone Ranger Rock, Overlook Point. The hill where the Jode truck was shown being pushed, I think. Then over to Corriganville. And so on. It is 3:29. I just got in my car, turned around, and took Iverson down to Santa Susana Pass Road and turned left. That is the cluster of boulders that I was standing on earlier. Here's the entrance to Rocky Peak Church, and then Overlook Point and Bathtub Rock are up there. So I just need to go to the second instance of Red Mesa Road and turn left. And there is the San Fernando Valley. Lighting's going to work out okay for this shot because the sun will be at my back. I sure could go for some food. I have not eaten anything since Dallas. There's Red Mesa Road and the tanks. Tanks are very useful. And that is, here it is. Oh crap. So busy flapping my jaw that I missed the turn. Not sure how I did that exactly. Actually, that does not seem likely. I just needed to go around the corner there. The thing that threw me is that driveway. That driveway did not register when I was looking at Google. And so I was surprised by it. What are you doing, lady? No stopping anytime. Looks like a pretty nice place to stop too. Alright, let's try this again. Anyhow, up there is Topanga Canyon Road. This is not Red Mesa Road. And then the next driveway should be Red Mesa Road. WTF. Alright, something's amiss here. Oh no. the gates must be the entrance to Garden of the Gods Park, and perhaps they're closed because it is closed? No trespassing. Ram's Head Ranch. I'm very confused. Alright, well, the only thing to do is take Red Mesa Road and see what happens. No outlet. It's not entirely true. It's a U-shaped road. Oh, well, here we are. I'm exactly where I want to be. There is Lone Ranger Rock. Okay, so what happened is I missed the first leg of Red Mesa Road. There's Lone Ranger Rock. Overlook Point is up there. Bathtub Rock is over there. So, let me park and we'll start looking. There you have it. Lone Ranger Rock. Can I get a hi-ho silver? So then, there are a lot of other rocks here. And many of them have movie credits. But I didn't dig very deep into the whole situation. Over there, where the sun is Overlook Point. I'll be headed over there in a second. This gully was a little bit more work to get across than I thought it would be. Alright, there's the road. Lone Ranger Rock is on the other side of the bush. And here is a path which presumably leads to, among other things, Overlook Rock. But wait, what's this? Garden of the Gods. It was part of the Iverson Movie Ranch, which flourished from 1912 to the late 60s. B. Westerns. Most shot up location in movie history. I'll take a still. Alright, I'm going to continue off the path, but there's no point in videoing it, recording it, because, well, wait. I got a reprieve from the sun. Alright, so it's up there. 50 feet that way is the plaque. And Bathtub Rock is just to the left of that condo, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of a cool spire. That thing is a little sphinx-ish. Alright, so the point is up there, I believe. Yep. So if you come up here, it's fairly important that you identify the correct spire before you start climbing. I did not do that. Okay, so I went way too far. I went like 2 spires too far in that direction. The overlook is right here. You can see a metal track on the ground that was used for some camera equipment at some point. And the identifying feature, and I should have remembered this from Google, was that tall lump of rock there. Anyhow. Alright, time for some pictures. I've still got a little sunlight. Worked out just about perfectly. Okay, now I'm going to try to find the spot. Here is the promo shot from Grapes of Wrath. And that, right there, corresponds with that little bump there. So what can I line up here? This was shot on kind of a hazy day. I can't see the... There's no... That distant ridge line is not really visible in the picture. And damn, I'm in shade here, aren't I? Oh, so much for getting here in time. Alright, so obviously it's a longer focal length. About like this. With more showing. Dang, it's too bad about the light. Alright, take some stills. I gotta go. Okay, I got the shot. Well, sort of. I didn't do a very good job. That's my car right there. And Lone Ranger Rock is right there. And it's time for me to what? Oh, we got one more thing to look at. The place where the Jodes were pushing their truck on the hill. It's roughly where the tip of my finger was. Alrighty. Alright, so Bathtub Rock is right up there and all that vegetation. The private property clearly begins where the patio furniture is, and that is the easiest path to Bathtub Rock. I'll have to take a different path. This seems like a pretty low return on investment project. That wasn't too bad. I cut the last shot down there, scrambled up here, and here's the bathtub. Bathtub Rock. I don't remember what movie it was, but Buster Keaton took a bath in this thing. Obviously it had water in it. And so then the Grapes of Wrath overlook is just kind of on the other side of this spire. You gotta kind of go around it. Alright, for reference, it's right above the patio terrace. And I'm just about out of battery. Gotta hustle. Back at the car now, 4:24. 25 minutes of sunlight left. Well, until sunset. Okay, right behind me is where I parked. And I just need to go up here to Iverson. Oops, overshot. Let's try that again. This is what I want here. The sign was hidden by the trees. Iverson Lane. Okay, so to the right here there's a pool, and there's the rock that I was looking for. Okay, so that rock appears in the shot with the Jodes pushing their truck up the hill. The thing is that there's about 10 or 15 feet of fill added here. So the spot doesn't really exist anymore. This did not show up on Google. Oh well. I guess this shot is not meant to be. Yeah, there's been some pretty serious reconfiguration of the landscape here. A lot of material's been added. So that rock there was behind and to the right of their truck. Their truck was about here, but it was a steep hill then. And you could see the cut for the railroad down there and the valley and a whole bunch of stuff. But now you can't see anything. And all you can see is like the top 20% of the rock. Oh well. And but it's a well-protected rock. Look at that fence. Some additional information. The rock is right there. That rock That rock is this rock. Okay, I'm now headed down Red Mesa Road. Whoa, speed hump. Lone Ranger Rock on the left. And overlook point right up there. Can't see it because of the exposure. So I am desperately low on battery, but I'm going to try to make it over to Corriganville Park with what electrons I have left. So we're going to turn right on, come on window. We're going to turn right on Santa Susana. This has been more time consuming than I thought it would be. That is the other end of Red Mesa Road, but it's got a gate on it. There's the bridge, Bond Movie Ranch over there, Rocky Peak Church, Boulder with the Crags. Corner telephone pole, guardrail, Iverson Road as opposed to Iverson Lane, which is what we were on a couple seconds ago. And then there should be Rocky Peak, Rocky something field on the left up here. Baseball diamond. There it is. Baseball diamond. Dead skunk. It doesn't smell good. So we'll go over the pass, then Lilac Lane will be on the left. We'll go down, turn to the right, cross the tracks, turn right on Smith Road. That's the Ronald Reagan Freeway up there. 118. 118? This car doesn't have a very tight suspension. It's kind of like driving a 1970s GM car. Okay, here's the pass. Start heading down. Ah, oh, sunlight again. Damn, can't see a thing. Whoa. Seems like there was an episode of Chips where somebody got in an accident because of that kind of nonsense. There's an entrance to 118 there. Danger, extreme fire hazard. This should be Lilac. Sure enough, Lilac Lane. Tunnel portals off to the right there. Not right off to the right. It's over a little ridge. Come on, battery. Box Canyon Road does not interest me. After this next turn we should see the tracks. maybe 2 more turns. Close. Yeah, we've still got a little elevation. Welcome to Simi Valley. There are the tracks. Off to my right. Okay, those tanks are right over the set, where the set was at Corriganville Park. They were behind the old Western Village thing. Going a little too fast here. There's not much battery left. Oh, interesting. I expected a grade crossing, but it's a separated crossing. So Smith Road is right here. The things you don't notice on Google. Smith Road. Alright. Out of 3 Street. I smell flowers. Must be some blossoming bushes nearby. It smells very good. Corriganville Park. Parking lot. Okay, and there are the foundations of the old Corriganville movie ranch. There's the tank. There are the tanks. It is 4:37, by the way, at Corriganville Park. 12 minutes till sunset. Alright, so this is the area here. I'm going to cut the camera and walk over there and then resume because there's not enough battery remaining. So when they filmed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood here, they must have put some soil over this concrete or something. The line of buildings was along here, and then I remember that foundation back there was concealed by a school bus. I don't remember what they did with this stuff here. Okay, here we are looking down at the site. The old Western Village thing would have been along the right side there, and camera position for the shots by the Cadillac with the flat tire would have been down there somewhere. And then this rock foundation here was concealed from the camera by a school bus. Nice area. The backdrop here looks fairly similar to what there was at Spawn. And as a bonus, there's also a driveway running across behind where the buildings would have been for the movie. Whoever scouted this location was really on the ball. I was just standing up there. See the water tank there. I imagine that this frame is fairly similar to at least something in the film. Alright, it's time to go. That's it for Corriganville Park. It is 4:49 p.m., which is sunset. I'm going to head either to Musso and Frank's or Bob's Big Boy in Toluca Lake. I don't have a lot of time. I need to be at New Beverly at, well, the show's at 7:30. I don't want to have a crappy seat. Gee, I don't really have time for Musso and Frank's. Well, see what happens. I'm on the 405 approaching Burbank Boulevard. I'm southbound. That's Alveda Pass ahead of me. I noticed that there's the smell of carbon in the air. I can smell that there has recently been a fire here. It's a rather strong smell, a carbon smell. I'm not going to be able to see any of the burn area, the Sepulveda Pass, on account of the fact that it's dark out. I guess I'll just have to use my imagination. Gag me with a spoon. It's the Sherman Oaks Galleria. There's Sepulveda Pass. God, how many lanes is that? Every time I come here, it grows a couple more lanes. I'm just about to the Getty Center, slightly under 2 miles to Sunset Boulevard, and the very strong smell of carbon is back. In fact, it's so strong that my eyes are kind of burning. Make out the vegetation on the hill. Jesus. It never fails to startle me. Top of the frame center is the Getty Center. I'm not going to try to make it to Musso and Frank's, so instead I'm going to go to El Coyote, but I'm going to buzz the Bruin Theater potentially on the way over there and maybe stop at, what was the name of that hot dog stand? Pinky's, I think. It is 5:23 p.m., 2 hours till the movie. Okay, I'm on Westwood now, heading north from Wilshire, and I can see the Bruin Theater ahead of me. The neon just to the left of the red stoplight is on the spire at the Bruin Theater. This is where I saw La Bamba in 1987. I'm thinking it was August 4th. I'd have to check that. Okay, the light is green, people. Green means go. even in California. Oh, it's a taxi. Alright. That got me off course. There we go. Oh, wait a second. The Bruin is here. So now I don't know which theater I saw La Bamba in. Well, it was at this intersection. But the Bruin is the theater that appears in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills Hotel, aka Hotel California. I'm on La Brea, southbound at Beverly. I'm gonna buzz to Beverly Cinema and El Coyote and then find a place to park. Beverly Cinema ought to be right here. In fact, it is. Looks like there's on-street parking. Cool. That's too good to be true. And here's El Coyote. Meep meep. Alright. So I think I'll go back and park by the theater and walk to El Coyote. That way I can make a quick getaway after the movie's over. I'm at El Coyote and there's about a 45-minute wait, but it's possible to eat at the bar, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to track down the Sharon Tate booth when I'm in there. And I believe this is the Sharon Tate booth. If not, it may be this one. I'm not really sure. I don't want to be too big a pest. I'm at Formosa and Beverly. That is the new Beverly Cinema over there. I'll move in for a closer look just as soon as the light changes. Yeah, Target, please. This is the inside of the new Beverly Cinema. The screen's a little smaller than I would prefer, but that's okay.
Comes out every 3 years or so. We try to make it a special experience here you can't get anywhere else. So we've got a number of things we've done here to kind of make this a special experience that other theaters can't necessarily recreate. We've tried to make this an immersive experience, so while you folks are here watching the movie at this theater, you kind of feel like you're back 50 years in 1969. A number of things help with that. First off, this theater has been here since that time period. It still has kind of a vintage look. If you look around you, a lot of us who are a little bit older might remember theaters used to all look like this at one point. We've also got some original props and decorations that we used in the filming of the film about here. In the theater itself, we've got some original Rick Dalton posters in the back that we used in the film. We've got some stuff spread out in the lobby. You might have noticed too, some original props from the film out in the lobby. We've also got some various collectibles out there we picked up on eBay before the film came out and the prices shot up. We've got some original Lancer comic books out there and Hopalong Cassidy mugs and things of that sort. We've also, out in the concession stand, for those who were around back in 1969 might have noticed that all of the candy that we have in our candy case displayed in the concession stand, all the bottled sodas we're selling right now are all products that existed back in 1969. We brought back a few types of candies you don't normally see in concessions stands or candy stores nowadays, including some things like candy cigarettes that are kind of, taboo at this point. So we kind of bring us back to 1969. There's a lot of smoking in this film, so we figured we'd bring in some candy cigarettes. We've also, as you came in here, had a little pre-show for you here. We normally play entrance music when you come in the theater. Instead of playing some music from a movie soundtrack, what we had there, that's an original KHJ Boss Radio sound check from February of 1969 when this film opened. That's a 1-hour sound check with the KHJ DJ Charlie Tuna, kind of bring you back to 1969 with that there also. And also another key element of making it feel like it's 1969 in here, I always tell everybody, no cell phone use in the theater whatsoever. There were no cell phones being used in theaters back in 1969. That's a policy we always have here, but extra special to keep in mind tonight. No cell phone use in the theater whatsoever. And since nowadays people also have some of these large, obnoxious smartwatches that light up every time you move your arm, if you have one of those smartwatches, maybe put it into theater mode for tonight. And other than that, because this is Quentin's theater, we do show everything here on 35mm. We only show film in this theater. We've drawn a line in the sand against digital, so we are going to be the last ones probably in the world kind of drawing that line, but we are only film here. And in addition, we have a lot of film we collect here too and things over the years. So Quentin put together a special pre-show for this. He does most of the programming here at the theater, and for this film we put together the pre-show. So we've got beforehand, we've got a couple of short films for you before the feature film, and these are some things that are using footage that was shot for the feature but not used. And, we've been changing these out every month or so. We've done different things. In the first month it was open, we had an extended scene from Lancer. The second month we had it here, we had an extended scene from Bounty Law, I think it was, maybe it was reversed. And those of you who have seen the film already, you'll recognize the extended scene we're opening the show with tonight. We've also got some other special little short things he put together. And we've got 3 vintage trailers playing before the film. And these are trailers of films that are closely connected to the feature itself, and kind of, again, to bring you back to 1969. So we've got a special show here. If you've never been here before, I know we're getting a lot of first-timers or out-of-towners. If you've never been here before, we are typically a repertory theater. We normally show classic films. Quentin does about 90% of the programming here, so if you do grab a calendar outside, check out everything else we're doing this month. It's kind of a peek into his brain instead of like film school here. You can get a look at a lot of things that influence his films. And this month, other than showing this film on the weekends, we are paying tribute to somebody who was a good friend to Quentin Tarantino, and he was also a good friend to many of us at the theater over the years. So we're paying tribute this month to Robert Forster, who passed away recently, probably known to a lot of people as the star of Jackie Brown, but he has a very long and varied career going back 60 years. We're showing a wide variety of films from his career this month. We've got coming up on Monday, for one night only, very, very rare screenings of The Stalking Moon and Pieces of Dreams. Coming up on Tuesday, we've got The Black Hole with Supernova. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we have an absolutely spectacular, mostly late 70s to 80s action exploitation triple feature. If you guys like revenge movies, things in the Death Wish kind of theme, absolutely highly recommend Vigilante, playing next week, Wednesday and Thursday. Vigilante is one of the most satisfying audience films you'll ever see in a theater. So definitely grab a calendar, check out some other stuff. Other than that, cell phones off as we enjoy Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in glorious 35mm.
Speaking on behalf of Red Apple cigarettes. Now, I smoke Red Apples, been smoking them for years, but since the Red Apple Tobacco Company's been around since 1862, you'll see J. Cahill smoke Red Apple too.
Candy cigarettes selling well tonight. Rick Dalton poster. Alright, that's it.
You went to the right.
Alright, there you go. Jason.
Oh.
It's a small rocket. Full sound.
Well, that was quite a show. It was very strange seeing the film within hours of having been to Cielo Drive and the Spawns Ranch. I mean, that was really weird. I'm glad I did it. It's about 10:35 p.m. and now I have to race over to LAX and catch my flight home. There's the theater one last time. Down here is El Coyote. And it's 10:40 p.m. Should take me about half an hour to get to LAX. I think I'll stop at Randy's Donuts and get a donut. Coyote. Alright. Whoa, a billboard over the road? That's crazy. Almost as crazy as a giant donut. Wow, they're busy. Alright, I gotta get a donut and I gotta fuel my car. Not sure what order to do it in. This isn't the only gas station around though. Randy's is busy. Somehow I made it to LAX. The rental car bus was unbelievable. The guy had to eat chips the whole way. And he went like 20 miles an hour and even took a detour to make it easier to eat chips while he drove. I think he went 20 miles an hour the whole way. Anyhow, 32 minutes until my flight boards. Gate 47B. There's my bird. It's about 9 minutes to boarding. Can't wait to get into my seat and get some sleep.